Ask most Formula One fans what defines Max Verstappen's driving style, and you'll hear the same answer again and again: late braking. The image is familiar. Max diving down the inside, stopping impossibly late, forcing rivals wide. It looks aggressive, it looks spectacular, and it looks like the defining feature of his dominance. But that assumption is wrong. According to multiple senior figures with decades of paddock experience, Verstappen does something that completely contradicts the popular narrative. He doesn't brake late, he brakes early, on purpose. This insight came from a former Williams and Ferrari team manager with nearly 40 years in Formula One. After analyzing Verstappen's onboard footage, braking traces, and corner data, the conclusion was clear. Max touches the brake earlier than most drivers, but he doesn't commit fully right away. Instead, he uses the brake pedal as a tool to settle the car, transfer weight forward, and prepare rotation before applying real stopping force. That distinction matters more than it sounds. Most drivers treat braking as an act of survival. Slow the car as late as possible without locking up. Verstappen treats braking as the first move in a sequence. Brake, rotate, straighten, exit. Every phase feeds the next. What he's really targeting isn't the braking zone, it's the rotation point, the exact moment the car pivots toward the apex. By prioritizing rotation over raw braking distance, Verstappen exits corners faster, straighter, and with more usable grip. And that philosophy becomes devastating when you consider what's coming next. Because in 2026, braking won't just slow the car down. It will decide how much energy the driver earns and how fast they can go after the corner. Miss this next part, and nothing about Verstappen's 2026 advantage will make sense. Right now, Formula One cars recover roughly 120 kilowatts of power under braking through the mgu-k. That system converts braking energy into electrical energy, which is then reused for acceleration. It's important, but it's limited. In 2026, that limit disappears. The new regulations increase energy recovery to roughly 300 kilowatts, nearly 3 times today's figure. Energy recovered per lap jumps from around 2 megajoules to as much as 8 to 12 megajoules depending on the circuit. That's an increase of over 300%. This single change rewrites the physics of racing. At the same time, the power split between combustion and electric shifts dramatically. Today's cars are still dominated by the engine. In 2026, power delivery moves close to a 50-50 balance. Mercedes has described it as effectively even. Honda confirmed the regulations actively encourage that split. And then comes the most important change of all. The mgu-h disappears. That unit previously recovered energy continuously from exhaust heat, regardless of driver input. Without it, all electrical energy must come from braking and coasting. There is no passive recovery anymore. Braking becomes income. Drivers who harvest cleanly can deploy more power on the straights. Drivers who brake messily lose potential energy before the corner even begins. This creates a serious problem for drivers who built their careers on ultra-late braking. Late braking often means spiky deceleration, instability, and compromised harvesting. Smooth braking produces cleaner energy, and clean energy compounds across a race distance. In 2026, braking isn't about who stops latest. It's about who earns the most speed afterward. And this is where Verstappen's supposedly aggressive style suddenly starts looking surgical. If you're enjoying these deep Formula One breakdowns, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Videos like this take real research, and subscribing means you won't miss what's coming next. Teammate data from Red Bull between 2019 and 2020 revealed something unexpected about Verstappen's preferences. His desired car response is extreme, far sharper than most drivers can tolerate. One former teammate compared it to turning mouse sensitivity to maximum on a computer. The car reacts instantly. That sounds aggressive, but what happens next is the key. During 2022 testing, when ground effect cars arrived, engineers noticed something surprising. Verstappen's driving style had evolved. The wild, reactive movements from his early career were gone. In their place was a smoother, more controlled approach. Early braking, gentle steering inputs, and early throttle pickup. Some engineers compared it to an extreme version of Jenson Button's style. Both descriptions are true, and that contradiction is what makes Verstappen dangerous. He demands a hyper-responsive car, but he drives it with restraint. He stays ahead of the car instead of reacting after it moves. That difference separates manipulative drivers from reactive ones. In 2026, that separation becomes enormous. Messy braking creates inconsistent energy harvesting. Clean braking creates predictable, repeatable energy that compounds lap after lap. Precision doesn't just look good, it generates power. But even the companies that build F1's brakes are warning teams that 2026 will break old assumptions. Every Formula One team uses Brembo brakes, and Brembo's F1 customer manager has called 2026 one of the most challenging regulation changes of his entire career. The reason sounds counterintuitive. In some corners, the rear brakes may barely activate at all. The mgu-k will handle so much deceleration that mechanical braking becomes secondary. On certain tracks, drivers may slow the car almost entirely through energy recovery alone. This flips circuit characteristics on their head. Tracks traditionally considered easy on brakes, like Monaco or Singapore, suddenly become energy-rich environments. Long braking phases mean more harvesting opportunities. Meanwhile, circuits once defined as brake-heavy change behavior entirely once batteries reach full charge. When the battery is full, drivers must use mechanical brakes, even if it's inefficient. That means difficulty ratings change dynamically during a race. Drivers will need to adapt corner by corner, lap by lap. Static braking references won't work. The best drivers will adjust harvesting strategy in real time. This isn't muscle memory anymore. It's interpretation, and Formula One has seen before what happens when interpretation matters more than instinct. There's a historical parallel here that should make most teams uncomfortable. In 2014, Formula One introduced hybrid power units and eliminated blown diffusers. Sebastian Vettel entered the season as a four-time world champion. By the end of the year, he was winless for the first time since his rookie season. His new teammate, Daniel Ricciardo, outqualified him repeatedly. Vettel admitted the car no longer gave him what he needed on corner entry. Technical analysis showed rotation behavior had changed fundamentally. His strength disappeared, not because his talent vanished, but because the rules rewrote what mattered. 2026 changes corner entry through a different mechanism: active aerodynamics. Cars will shift between high downforce and low drag configurations multiple times per lap. Balance will move dynamically. Drivers who rely on a fixed corner entry feel may struggle the same way Vettel did. Regulation resets don't expose bad drivers. They expose mismatches. So why is Red Bull so confident heading into this chaos? Red Bull's motorsport advisor summed it up bluntly. The 2026 driver must be smart, clever, and capable of thinking while driving flat out. He then added that only one driver consistently does that better than anyone else: Max Verstappen. Red Bull's powertrains director echoed that belief. Verstappen's ability to process information at 200 miles per hour is described internally as world-class. And these regulations push energy systems to the center of performance. Drivers will manage three primary modes manually: boost, allowing energy deployment anywhere on track; overtake, enabling enhanced recovery when following another car; recharge, controlling harvesting intensity. That's layered on top of tires, racecraft, strategy, and pure speed. A former world champion described Verstappen's advantage as fine feeling combined with processing speed, tiny inputs, instant reactions, and constant awareness of what the rear of the car is doing. At that level, driving becomes less mechanical and more artistic. Art that creates energy, energy that creates speed, speed that creates wins. And yet, nothing about 2026 is guaranteed. New regulations affect everyone differently. Lewis Hamilton has adapted to major resets before. Other elite drivers will adjust again. Talent doesn't disappear overnight, but evidence suggests something important. Verstappen doesn't adapt after the rules change. He anticipates what matters before they arrive. His technique has always prioritized rotation, smoothness, and exit speed over late braking heroics. That philosophy aligns perfectly with a world where braking earns energy. Energy earns speed, and speed wins races. Multiple drivers have admitted they'll need to erase habits built since karting to survive 2026. One compared it to switching from Formula One to rallying. Another said it would feel like relearning how to drive. Verstappen may not need to erase anything, because the rules didn't give him an advantage. They revealed one he already had. If 2026 rewards precision, efficiency, and mental bandwidth under pressure, then Max Verstappen didn't need to adapt to the future. The future adapted to him. Now, if you want to understand why Max Verstappen's dominance goes far beyond raw speed, check out our video, Why 2026 Will Prove Max Verstappen Was Never Just Fast. That video breaks down how regulation resets expose true driver skill, why adaptability matters more than horsepower, and how Verstappen's race intelligence, feedback, and energy management could separate him from the grid in the new era. This video explains what's changing. That one explains who's built for it.